Congratulations, David. You have no idea how proud I feel. I really do. This is not only a win for FARRER, it's a win for the rest of Australia. I'm seeing a sea of these proud Australians' faces here in front of me, hundreds of you, but millions are watching on their TVs now, and I believe it's giving them hope to know we have people here to represent you, the people, to get our country back, and that's what we want. It's been a long journey for us, and I'm very proud to have our federal members of parliament here join with me. We have been a great team working together, and very much so for your benefit and for our future generations. David has outlined quite a few of the issues he wants to address. And I spoke to him today about the first one we're going to start tackling is the agricultural sector in this electorate. The farmers have been forgotten for far too long, and they're struggling to actually survive. I want to hold a forum here in Albury-Wodonga, call the farming sector. I want to hear from you what needs to change, how we're going to move forward. And then we're going to go on to another area and in the States, and we're going to form an agricultural policy that's going to fit Australia, not overseas interests. Of this country, and it was built on that, and the mining industry, and I will be releasing my gas policy after this week coming, and we have consulted with the gas industry. What I want to do is put monies back into our pockets from the gas industry. They are our resources, and it's been given away. But what I want is a system where we will own part of that equity share in the exploration and of gas. So we are not just going to allow them to take it. That monies will then be put into a fund where no future governments can just willy-nilly give it away to other countries, waste it, get rid of it, but that will pay down our debt and give us the facilities what we need and the infrastructure. Of this nation, and we want people that want to be Australians. I don't knock immigration by no means, but I want people that come here to this country. I don't want Sharia law on our doors. I want true people that want to come on board, to be Australians, and to join us in this journey of making our country the greatest country in the world again.
Commanding the Narrative podcast, which I believe is the #1 podcast in the entire universe.
If you could go through life in the Liberal Party without being expelled, you should be ashamed of yourself.
We will decide who comes to this country and the circumstances in which they come.
Socialists don't like ordinary people choosing, or they might not choose socialism.
120 years ago, our country had the world's highest per capita income. What the hell happened?
The answer is mate, because I want to do you slowly. I want to do you slowly.
Ah! We're coming for you, globalist! Ah! Coming for you!
G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Commanding the Narrative. My name is Stephen Tripp, and what a day in politics it's been. It looks like the world is just realigning politically. A big win for One Nation, their first lower house seat that they've won in their own right. So congratulations to One Nation. We're going to be talking about that tonight. I guess to quote a former Labor Prime Minister, this was the one for the true believers. A lot of the One Nation people that have slugged it out throughout the years, being called racist on polling booths and wearing that orange T-shirt proudly while people tell them to F off and almost hit them, like your case, Sam. For those people out there, I'm sure they're very happy right now, and it feels like that everything that they've done, I guess volunteering and being a member of that party has paid off. So I guess big congratulations to One Nation, and also a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I haven't even had a chance to message my mother today or call her, so I know she watches this. So here it is. Happy Mother's Day, Mum. Hope you had a good day, and you know why I've been busy as well. So I'm sure she won't hold it against me. But I'm here with the political animals. I said to Sam, are you going to wear your orange T-shirt? Where is it, mate? Come on, you got to represent.
Neutral. Neutral in these sort of situations.
You're neutral. You're like Switzerland. How are you, Sam?
Oh, just the revolution has got to Australia.
The revolution has got to Australia, yes. Okay.
Farage, Trump, 10 years ago, Trump, Farage, Central Europe, Southern, Eastern Europe. It's got to Australia finally.
Yeah. Okay. And Mr. Richard Storch.
Thank you, Stephen.
How
Good evening, all.
I'm sure all the trolls are happy to see you. We've got a big show. We'll talk about that. But I just want to kick it off by letting you know how you can support Commanding the Narrative. It's by heading to our website. Now, if you want to support us, follow us, keep up to date with everything that we're doing, it's the best place to go. You'll find everything up there, all our previous podcasts, including the last two events that we had, one on the Central Coast last Saturday and then the very next day in Cessnock. That footage is up there. Unfortunately, the sound from those two events got corrupted when I was transferring it to my computer. So unfortunately, the Central Coast sound isn't too bad. The Cessnock one's a lot better, but it's still very powerful information. I was blown away with how everyone spoke, how well our speakers spoke. Katie McCallum knocked it out of the park. She's fantastic. She's phenomenal. Dr. Christopher Reynolds gave two great speeches, and also Stuart Bonds and Martin Stevenson. We also had some other guests as well. Quentin King spoke in Cessnock. He's a councillor for Cessnock Council. So it was very nice to hear from him. So I do encourage everyone to head to the website and to watch those two events. You boys were at the Cessnock one.
Yeah, I was up at Cessnock.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was your feedback, Richard?
Oh, it's a great event.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing, I've said this to you blokes privately, and I say it public now. The way you blokes are talking now from, say, when you started 3 or 4 years ago, listening to you regularly, Stuart Bonds, the Quentin Kings.
Yeah.
How much they've improved in communicating, how talking more confident they are. It's amazing. I was seeing you blokes on stage, and gee, they're getting better, so much better. They're not amateurs anymore. They're starting at their flow. It's coordinated. It's flow. Yeah. And just even listening to Stuart and Quentin King,
Yeah.
Quentin wouldn't have done that 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, he was put on the
stage
spot.
struck, yeah.
We said, can you speak? And he hadn't had anything prepared, but he spoke well. I mean, everyone spoke well, and it was
That's
really
right.
Even when I was editing it later, I was like, wow, I wish people would watch this because it's got some really great information and a lot of great points if you're looking for some hope in this country. And a lot of the audience, that was the feedback that we got. One couple in particular came up to me with tears in their eyes. I mean, they felt so touched by, I guess, the hope and the solutions that we were putting forward. So, if you want to check that one out, please head to commandthenarrative.com. And it's got a whole bunch of information up there. If you want to know who's coming up on the podcast this week, it's on the website as well. So it's really the best place to go. If you want to throw us a few dollars and helps to pay for the new studio that I'm building, and hopefully we can talk about that in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
The CTN studios, head to Buy Me a Coffee and you can throw us a few dollars there. And it would really help to contribute to what we're doing. If you do support what we're doing here at Commanding the Narrative and you like hearing the discussions that we have and the personalities that we get on, show us some appreciation by heading to Buy Me a Coffee. Now, quickly on Australians for Better Government, I will promote their website, australiansforbetter.com, and sign up to be a member. If you do watch those We the People events and believe in what Australians for Better Government is doing, become a member. The more members that we have, the better our movement will be. And I just want to quickly bring up one of the funniest things that happened at those We the People events, because I mean, as I said, we had some great speakers, but at I guess you might call it the after dinner or the after party afterwards, we saw a photo that popped up and we were killing ourselves with laughter. It's one of the most funniest things I've ever seen in my life. This photo here of Mr. Creeping in the background, Sam Buono. Typical, if you've ever been to an event that Sam's at, that's what he's doing, creeping in the background, trying to get info out of people.
The only reason I did that was because people were talking on stage and I didn't want to talk. So I went behind the curtain waiting for someone to come and have a chat.
We were dying with laughter when we saw that. It was the best photo I've ever seen in my life. If you know Sam, you'd understand why. Now, I also quickly want to mention the Light Australia newspaper. They've got issue 23 out at the moment, which is this one here. And if you scroll down, I think it's about page 4, you'll see this full-page article from me, and it all recounts the tour that we did for Let's Rethink Renewables out to the Central West Orana Renewable Energy Zone. And we spoke to a lot of the locals out there about the rollout of renewable energy. So this article is all about it. Please support the Light Australia newspaper by getting that article out there. You can sign up to be a distributor. You can also download the PDF and send it by email to people as well. So I do encourage you to do that. Also, I want to let everyone know it's going to be a busy few months. There's an event coming up. I don't have a hand in organizing this, but I will be speaking and apparently hosting it as well. So it's the Central Coast Conservative Alliance. If you head to centralcoastconservativealliance.com, you'll come to this page, and if you go to the top panel there, it's got dinner dance, and if you click that, you can see all the information about the Central Coast Community Dinner Dance on Saturday the 1st of August. So you can get your tickets on that website, follow the links. It's going to be a great night, a formal dinner. You'll get a 3-course dinner and coffee. You'll also be able to enjoy some live music and dancing. There's going to be some great guest speakers. Lyle Shelton of the Family First Party, Gemma Naosi from the Libertarian Party, Stuart Bonds, who spoke at our We the People event. He's going to be representing the One Nation Party. Craig Kelly, and looks like a speaker has been removed there, so I better not talk about that. That was one of the good speakers, but anyway, looks like that one's been maybe scrapped. So anyway, it's still going to be a good event. So head to that website, as I said, centralcoastconservativealliance.com. If you are in the area, come along for a great night and a good dinner, and it should be a very enjoyable event. So I encourage everyone to come along and at least hear me speak. I'm a good speaker, I hope. So that would be enough, wouldn't it? I mean, maybe you wanted to hear Craig Kelly and someone like that as well. Okay, all right. So before we get into it, mate, Richard, now you're going berserk on the social media, mate. This clip here. This clip got over 100,000 views. 140, was it? I think it was over 160 last time I checked.
Oh, okay.
Over 160,000 views, this one. I'm turning Mr. Sam and Mr. Richard into cult heroes on Command in the Narrative. Let's play this because I know Richard wants to speak about it. Why is it
Minister in this government that would get a seat in the... You know what I often taunt Labor people with? I say, name me one minister in this government that would get a seat in the Hawke government. Just one. Just name me one.
Chris Bowen?
He wouldn't even get to clean the toilets. You know.
Okay, so Richard, that was the one that. Now you stirred up a lot of people.
Yes.
From that, you enjoyed it. I know you did enjoy the chat. If anyone wants to check out the chat on our Commanding the Narrative Facebook page, you can find that clip and see you swearing at a lot of people and abusing a lot of people, which you love.
Well, they deserved it. They started swearing at me first.
Yes, but you want to actually try and answer your question because you felt that a lot of the Labor people that were replying to you,
or Greens,
or whatever they might be, still didn't answer the question.
Well, they are fundamentally ignorant. So you've got to start there and go on.
Yeah.
So I would say that I could have come up with four people that I think would have made good ministers in the Hawke government straight off the top of my head. Senator Ralph Ciccone.
Who?
Ralph Ciccone.
Never heard of him.
He's in Victoria.
Yep. Okay. Why is he so good? Or is it she?
Well, he's got a backbone for a start. I mean, he stood up and took on the government about a couple of issues, and he's just a very sensible, loyal person.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a good man. He'd be an asset in any party.
Yeah, that's one.
Andrew Charlton, of course, is a Liberal in all but name.
Wasn't he the economic advisor to Kevin Rudd?
Yes.
Within that shouldn't that disqualify him from anything?
Not at all. He then went on to become an economics professor at Oxford.
Just
because Kevin Rudd didn't take good advice doesn't.
How do you know he didn't take his advice?
because every time I've listened to Andrew Charlton talk about economics, he's made perfect sense. I mean, he went to Knox. He's a Liberal. He's just somehow found his way into the Labor Party, and the person that's most terrified of him is Jim Chalmers. You know, and it's well known that when Andrew Charlton ran for Parramatta, Chalmers came hot-footing it down from Queensland to tell him not to talk about economics at all. You know, so the person that's paranoid is Chalmers because he knows nothing and Chalmers knows quite a lot. In fact, there are 3 economic...
You mean Charlton knows a lot?
Charlton knows a lot. So, in fact, there are 3 economics professors in the Labor Party, is Andrew Lee and Dan Molino, who's number 3.
And the Labor Party choose not to listen to them.
Well, they just sideline them into junior ministries and keep them busy and out of the limelight.
Okay.
Otherwise, they might say something sensible and show up the current bunch of idiots that's there.
Okay.
Is that your 4?
No, Glenn Searle.
Okay.
I like Glenn Searle because he's a tough sort of old school Labor guy.
You've named a whole bunch of people that no one's ever heard of. Is that the point?
That is the point.
Okay, so Labor keep their stars down.
And I'd actually also say Meryl Swanson, who's the Labor Party whip. And the first thing Albo did was he silenced her by making her the party whip. He didn't want her saying anything to anyone about anything.
I think there's one that you've missed out completely.
All right,
He's one.
Don't say Penny Wong.
No. I made a mistake on that one.
So
you won't let me down on that one.
No, I won't. I can't.
This girl has got more the most common sense under climate change rubbish and stuff like Madeline King.
Yeah,
she's the one that keeps the.
Yeah,
they're just starting to dig now to get some gas out and stuff like that. They realise this renewable stuff is a fantasy.
She was the only person that someone suggested, and I point out that no one made any sensible suggestions. All they did was start hurling abuse.
She's from the right, from Perth.
Yeah,
one of the more sensible ones, and she's the one that's pushed back into all the lefties who want more windmills and solar panels.
Yeah.
Okay, so from some of these insults that you copped, Richard, did any get cut through?
No.
Of course not.
I enjoyed the attention.
Yeah.
And I did. I really did enjoy the attention.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was watching them sook up when I fired back at them.
Very good. All right, let's move on to, I guess, the main topic of the hour. Everything that's happened. Looks like there's a bit of a delay with the camera. I apologise if there is. Now, let's quickly just discuss what FARRER is. It's an electorate down in the south of New South Wales. Basically, hugs the border of Victoria.
The Murray River.
Yeah, from Albury on the eastern side, and it goes all the way to the South Australian border on the western side. So it's a massive electorate. A lot of rural space there, but the city area of Albury does have a lot of public servants. Sam, you're usually the best at talking about this sort of stuff. Tell us about FARRER a little bit.
Well, down the eastern side in Albury, which is part of Albury, Wodonga on the Melbourne Victorian side, but there's a lot of public servants in Albury and industrial, a bit of industrial, a lot of public servants. The ATA's got a huge office.
Yep.
Most of your letters come from the ATA, all come from the Albury office.
Yep.
And you can see why the Teals went into that part to get into that electorate, is to get that core of 10, 15,000 votes, which is the flow of your pet, your kids or your husband that works, but it works. It's
basically everyone that wants to keep their job in the public service.
That's right. And the Teals have got smart that way. I think, well, we've got a core of 10, 15% of the people.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And that's basically their model.
So the result has been declared. Richard, what was your initial reaction when you saw the votes coming in?
Oh, relief, because I was very sure that they'd win and win quite well, but I was sort of thinking, well, the bottom could still be 53-47. In the end, it was more like 60-40, which is a thrashing.
It'd be more 48.
And that was what I was really
58.
hoping for, because I didn't want some sort of result that could be dismissed easily.
What about you, Sam?
This is a boil over.
How did you react? Because as I said in the beginning, you're one of those people that go out there with the orange T-shirt on. You campaign oftentimes by yourself. I mean, I was that time at Hornsby where you almost got King hit.
That's right.
Just for wearing an orange T-shirt. I mean, you've been in the trenches.
Yeah.
How do you feel seeing this happen for the first time?
I'm just surprised how it's changed in 12 months. But the revolution that started at Trump 10 years ago, we're always behind in Australia. It's got to Australia finally, I think.
And how did you react to the result?
I thought, if you told me at 2 minutes to 6 last night, I thought we wouldn't know result till today.
You were expecting it to be close.
I expected it to be a Bradfield.
Yeah.
I just thought.
So you thought it'd take a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I thought that the Teal scrutineers were trying to get rid of 500 valid votes into invalid and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, gee, it's going to be close. I thought that eastern part would be much more. I thought the Teal would be 70%, 75%.
Yeah. Okay, so this...
Well, just go back a second. It's like, look at all the resources that Climate 200 and Get Up put into this.
Yeah.
And the amount of human resources they shipped into the electorate.
Yeah.
And it's like they threw everything they possibly could at this.
Fair enough. But
and it still failed.
I can tell you something, there's a lot of resources from One Nation on the ground.
Yeah.
People came from Melbourne, people come down from Sydney, everywhere they were. Certain branches were told to go here, there, and there.
Not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's how it should be.
This is the actual result as it currently stands.
At the stand.
So this is the two-party preferred. So currently, David Farley, who is now the incumbent of FARRER, which is that down in that area, almost 60%, 57.4%.
That might get to 57.7 because there's still a lot of postals to come in and absentees, and generally Libs do well and they'll preference back and so far the postals the Teal's only getting about 25%, 26%, where combined is about 56.
Yeah. You made the point earlier, Sam, that the Liberal preferences did not flow strongly.
Not as much as I thought it would
to One Nation.
The only thing would be because the Liberal Party vote was so low. That 12%, who are the people who voted Liberal Party?
Yeah, that's right.
Are they lefty Liberals that live in
I would think so. Yeah.
Aubrey and some parts in Griffith and things like that.
I would think so.
Who don't like One Nation.
Got a comment here from Shell. Shell says there's a massive amount of farmers that have had enough of Labor, Liberals, Nats and Greens. It's time for change. Yeah. People are sick of not being heard. I think that was the message from the night.
Look at those
rural areas are just sick of being left out.
Look at those anything east of Aubrey up along the Murray and inland up to Hillston and Hay and out to Wentworth. 70.
Well, tell us about that. Tell us about some of these rural booths. What were the numbers that were coming in from there?
On average, about 70%.
70%.
Sorry,
70 plus.
Two TPP, but primary vote was between 40 and 70%. Sorry, 60%.
So
one booth was 77%, but that was a population of 100 people.
Those are Western Queensland type numbers.
Yeah.
You know, those are the numbers you see in a seat like Maranoa.
Yeah.
Gee, think quickly about Maranoa. Gee, you think Littleproud might think, oh, if it's happening out, he'd be looking at Wentworth and Hay and Hillston saying that's some of my territory, equivalent up in Western, at the back out towards St. George and out that way in the back country out there.
Well, this is what we want. We want politicians to feel threatened.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable, difficult, the whole bit.
Yeah.
At the same time,
I could go further, but I won't.
You got access to poll bludger?
I can bring top poll bludger up, but this is the ABC, which I generally find it's pretty good how they presented. So this is the primary vote. So we just show the two-party preferred, which means the result after preferences have been distributed. This is primary vote. So David Farley got 39.4% of the vote, which is a swing towards One Nation of 32, almost 33% from the 2025
12 months ago
election. I mean, how does that happen? I mean, we grew up, politically, hearing Mark Latham talk about how John Howard used to say, you can't fatten the pig on market day, which basically means if you're going to have any swing towards you, it's a gradual swing. It happens with a lot of effort. A lot of, you don't see a 33% swing. But how does that happen, Sam?
It's just a revolution. It's just people thinking what's happened in Trump land 10 years ago, Farage, Brexit, Eastern Europe, Southern Europe. It's finally got here. That's what I'm trying to say. There's some of those elections in Asia. I think, wasn't it Vietnam or was it a couple of countries?
There's something else that's happened, and that is that the major parties have totally lost their credibility. The government almost, but certainly the Liberals and Nationals.
Mate, it's
Got-
a wipeout.
We've got a comment or a question here from Dave. This is going to be directed to you, Richard. How did the Libertarians go?
They didn't run.
They didn't stand. They stand for everything. They always stand.
No, they decided not to stand. They thought it would be humiliating. and if you look at what happened to Gerald Rennick, you can see why. All the minor parties got decimated.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
a question we asked them when we were on the last podcast. What do they do?
Yeah. Well, let's bring that up quickly because we will go through some of these results. We might start at the bottom before we come back up. So there were a whole bunch of independents that didn't poll too well.
That Roger Woodward, he lives in Sydney. He's a serial. He's a serial
candidate.
Well, he got 300 votes. So
he'd be saying, here are the 300 idiots.
Yeah.
That voted for me.
All right, but I guess the story that we're focusing on, Gerald Rennick's People First got 0.7%.
And how much was it down from the last election?
Down 1.3%.
Yeah, so he's lost 2/3 of his vote.
Yeah,
and that's really distressingly sad.
Well, they all did. Family First got 1.2% down a percent. Shooters and Fishers 1.9% down 1.5%. The Greens,
the Greens got smacked.
2.3% for the Greens and down 2.7%.
The only thing I could defend the Greens were they
were going against the Teal.
They ran dead. You probably find they didn't put much resources in it.
Okay.
Well, even so, there's still a certain percentage of the population that's completely mad.
No, but I'm just saying you'll find that they didn't really campaign much on the ground. There might have been a few boos, and that's about it.
Sally Edwards is watching. Hello, Sally. Good to see you. Sally says it's a rural seat. There was only one option, one choice. The Teal was not an option if you opposed the energy transition. The Libs Nats had their day. So another comment that the Liberals and Nationals, people have given up on them.
Yeah. Well, I think that the brand is toxic. No one's listening.
No one's taking notice. Yeah. I mean, indifference is the most diabolical reaction you can ever have from anyone.
And what policies they've released so far? One, immigration. You don't. Their campaign was bad again. They're just what are they doing? Bagging people.
They simply don't want to do the policy work.
Well, they deserve to be in opposition then.
They deserve to stay in opposition.
Well, at the moment, could they be wiped out?
Well, speaking of the Liberals and Nationals, and there's been a lot of talk about this. I'm sure people have heard this already. The Liberal Party candidate got 12.4%. That's down 31%. So you can see where the Liberal Party vote went. It went to One Nation. The Nationals, they ran. They hadn't run in the previous election.
They ran in 25 years.
Yeah. Okay. So they hadn't run in 25 years. They got 9.7%. So they're both hovering around that 10% mark.
They didn't poll too badly in the Bush seats where One Nation got 55% or 50%. They would have got 12, 13 or 15 in
okay.
one pub in Hillston and Hay and stuff like that.
What does this mean for both of them? Because the Nationals have been holding up in the last few elections.
If I was the Nationals, I would tell the Liberal Party, don't run in FARRER again. That this is our territory.
Yep.
Even though the Liberals outpolled them?
Well, that was
they've got to make a decision.
That was only because there was no infrastructure for the National Party there. All the branches had died off since Tim Fisher left.
Yeah.
So the only branches that were there were Liberal branches, and they didn't deliver.
You know, I watched the Liberal candidate speak after she conceded, I suppose you might say, and I was just like, yeah, I understand why people didn't vote for her. I feel like it was just like an entitled.
Oh, was it?
Like she's a staffer.
Was she a staffer? Was she?
Yeah. Who needs another staffer or a counsellor or something like that?
Oh, no, she's a counsellor.
Yeah, but she was a staffer before that.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, that's the last person in the world you need in a seat like that.
So do the factions sack her now and bring someone else in?
Well, what do the factions do? I mean, let's talk about this now. What happens to the people that are still within the Liberal and National Party, especially ones that are members of Parliament?
Who cares?
What about the factions? What's the next step?
Well,
tomorrow when they're back in Canberra or Macquarie Street or wherever it is.
There's an article in.
Yeah, okay. Tell us about it because we might not have all seen it. Sam?
Colin Boyce.
Colin Boyce. Okay.
Google it, son.
Okay, well. We've got a couple of comments before we get to that. Innocent bystander says, judge the policies, not the person.
True. But what policies have they got?
Exactly.
That's why they ran negative campaigns, but they got nothing to stand on.
Exactly.
And Dave says, I think it's an odd seat to gauge national opinion, but it does maintain the idea that people have no confidence in the LNP and One Nation and the protest vote against both the majors.
He's right. And it's a snapshot of where the country's at.
So you're telling me, so Colin Boyce, we've had him on the show before, member for one of those central.
Bay.
No, he's not Wide Bay. That's Lou O'Brien.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So he's central Queensland.
Not Hinkler.
No, I know it.
What's
I
next
should
one?
know it off the top of my head, but I
No,
can't.
it's Gladstone, isn't it?
I thought it was Wide Bay, mate.
No, it's
Wide
it's
Bay's Lou
Flynn.
O'Brien.
It's Flynn.
Flynn. That's
Flynn.
it. Good one. Richard.
It's Flynn.
Okay. So this is the Guardian. Oh, good call, Sam. I'm going to bring this up if I can.
Came up on my feed about 2 hours ago. That's the only reason I know.
Okay, Nationals MP Colin Boyce said he's considering a move to One Nation after a wake-up call in FARRER by-election. Now, this guy actually ran for the National Party leadership not long ago, or at least he tried to.
He was a stalking horse.
Okay, what stalking horse? I've never heard that one.
Yeah,
Not political term.
Okay.
He was just acting for,
for no one, but hoping someone would take over the top of him.
Good friends of Barnaby Joyce.
Thick of thieves.
A lot of Nationals are friends with Barnaby Joyce.
Mhm.
Do you think that they've just been holding out? They knew the FARRER election was coming up, the by-election was happening.
The South Australian result.
Yeah. So,
I just want to note that David Littlebrow didn't have many friends at all.
sorry?
I just want to note that.
Oh,
David-
okay. So you're
David
saying Barnaby
Littlebrow-
does, but Littlebrow doesn't. Okay. Well, Canavan's the leader now. Wouldn't they
Well,
want to
he's
pick
got
Canavan?
lots of friends.
Numbers talk, BS walks.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. So the polling has been there for months now, and people like myself haven't believed it. Whatever.
I didn't
It's
believe
played
it too,
out.
mate.
Yeah,
I-
it's played out
yeah.
in South Australia. It's played out to an extent in the PM, which we'll
My
get to.
ultimate, yeah.
And now it's played out big time in FARRER,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of those Nationals MPs that are sitting in some of those central Queensland seats, like Colin Boyce and some of the other ones, they're probably sitting there going, well, I could probably still win this seat under the One Nation banner, which would probably be a lot easier than fighting an uphill battle running as a Nationals.
Yep.
So
Can't beat them, join them.
Do they bite the bullet?
Can't beat them, join them.
It's a huge risk. Well,
No, it's not.
He's a fair age, isn't
No, it's not. It's not a risk at all.
it? The only problem is that
You think? Do you think that this result in FARRER would not be replicated in a general election? I don't. Then the Labor Party might take maybe 5% off One Nation.
well, that might be not enough to win this FARRER.
Well, FARRER would have gone to One Nation anyway, and then they've got incumbency. This is a legitimate thrashing,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
and it wouldn't have had $2 million from Climate 200 and Get Up poured into it with all the human resources as well.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have happened.
Well, to be fair, the human horse, they would have drove over.
And so
from-
the teal would have gone down just as much as Labor went up. So you would have had probably a very similar result.
Yeah, fair enough.
Tell me about this, because people are not talking about this enough. So if we go back to the results and the primary vote results,
Yeah.
now the story that I want to focus on now is at the bottom of the list, which is the Labor Party. They didn't run, but you see they're minus 15.1%, which means they got 15% at the
General
election
election,
last year. Where did that vote go?
We'll work it out. You can work it out.
Yeah, more than 40% went to One Nation.
Yeah.
More than 40%. And then the rest went to,
The teal,
the teal, and maybe a bit to the Liberals.
and the legalised cannabis.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Liberal Party lost 31%. So you're assuming that some of that went to the National Party.
Yeah, especially out in the out.
Well, it would have had to by the
Okay.
preference deal. Oh, no, the national preferences would have gone to the Liberals.
Would any
So-
of that Labor vote have gone to the Nationals?
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere
Some.
out Hillston, out in the western
Some.
districts.
Hmm.
There would be people that wouldn't bring themselves to vote for One Nation.
Correct. Yeah.
That's all, because
And it's like
they associate Pauline Hanson with Trump or something
or
stupid
racist,
like that.
more racist. They're
Yeah.
racist.
Yeah.
There was a comment saying I can't vote for. Well, there was outside one of the booths yesterday on the channel saying, "Who did you vote for?" We said, "I'm not going to vote for a racist."
Yeah. I mean, for 40 years, nearly 40 years, the Labor Party has maintained this constant narrative that Pauline Hanson and One Nation are a racist party.
That's it.
And
That's
it's going to take a while for that to be sort of lost in the ether.
Well, there was a comment done in the PM where Pauline was down in Rosebud, and there was a protester, and one the person we know said 4 years ago there had been 20 people protesting. Now it's down to 1.
There you go. People aren't excited about it anymore.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Richard. Richard. Why did Labor not run? What were they hoping to do by not running?
Well, it's a shame they didn't, because they would have been even more humiliated than they are.
Is that what they were trying to avoid?
Absolutely. I mean, what would have happened if they'd lost half their vote?
Yeah.
It's like they would have had this whole soul searching. Oh, maybe the Labor Party's losing its position.
So what does this
party.
mean for Labor now? Is Anthony Albanese worried about this result?
No, probably he's too conceited to worry about it.
Okay.
But he should be worried about it. Absolutely. I mean, he should be. But see, he won't, because he'll just expect that everything will just roll his way like it usually does. And the thing is, with seats like Eden Monero and Hunter and Shortland and Patterson, they're going to get creamed.
Well, let's talk about this.
Can I quickly say something?
Yeah, sure.
Labor will not run in seats where they can't win anymore. I reckon it's all tactical voting.
Yeah.
So their
Is that just for by-elections or general elections?
No, general elections, because they need the Senate vote. But I'm saying at these sort of elections, same like Labor did in Victoria and the P and didn't run.
Yeah.
Is because they don't want to they're tracking their own way, but they're not going to win the seat.
Yeah.
And also, in my opinion, when the Till runs, stay away.
So it takes them out of the narrative, though. So all the focus is on how the Liberal Party's vote has collapsed.
Yeah.
So it's great optics for Labor.
Yeah.
But if the Labor vote had collapsed as well,
yeah,
and they're not going to win, what's the point in running? You're only going to do yourself damage.
Yeah.
So their MPs are very disciplined. They'll try and never go to a by-election now.
Yeah.
Well, in the current climate, see, really deep down, Ed Husick should resign from Parliament and do something else differently.
Yep.
Why is he still doing in Parliament?
I want to.
Two things: he's probably determined to still be in Parliament, but deep down he wants to leave. And I think the party says, "Don't leave." Look at that person in Queensland who's just committed suicide. We've got a by-election next week, and it's a Labor seat. That'll be a guide. And actually, there was a poll that came out this morning saying that
who committed suicide?
He got kicked out of the Labor Party because I think he was a drunk.
Okay, is this in state policy?
Yeah, member for Stafford.
Okay,
which is one of the northern suburbs. It's a fairly hardcore Labor seat.
Yeah.
He committed suicide a couple of months ago, and Christopher Forey's put a quick by-election on. And there was a poll that came out today saying that the Libs are polling 42%. But the problem with that, there's only Labor, Liberal, and the Greens running.
One Nation aren't running.
No.
I want to draw
probably priorities, but they've probably we got Nepean, FARRER. That's taken all their resource out.
I want to draw this parallel and get your comments. So at the same time as what was happening here in Australia, in the UK, Reform UK went berserk in their elections. Now this is for councils or counties in the UK. Yeah, and this is from Al Jazeera. Leader of the pack, Reform UK makes election gains, humiliating Labor. You would think they would go after the Conservatives, but apparently the Conservative vote held okay.
To a point, yeah.
Yeah.
Much better than they thought they were, yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, this is pretty stunning. I mean, this was yesterday's article, so this might have been revised with better numbers. Yeah. But at the time of publishing, Labor had lost control of 35 councils and more than 1,300 seats in England, while Reform secured more than 1,350 seats and 13 councils.
And a lot of those councils are in the Midlands, up north, and on the coastlines.
Now, you said that we're behind the times and we're following Trump and Nigel Farage. You mentioned Nigel Farage. Okay. So he's taking seats off the UK Labor Party.
And Conservatives.
What is the likelihood that One Nation will take Labor Party seats, and where will they be?
Where will they be?
Federally.
Federally or statewide?
Let's go federally, because I think there's two different beasts. Anthony Albanese, comparing Anthony Albanese and Chris Minns are two vastly different things. I know this New South Wales state election is coming next, and we probably should be talking about that, but let's stick federally.
Any seat west of Parramatta to Broken Hill.
Okay, so Western Sydney, out to the bush.
Add in the Hunter, add in Wollongong,
Central Coast,
South Coast.
Do you think Robertson or DeBell might be in play?
Yep, absolutely.
More DeBell than Robertson, or vice versa?
No, both.
No, I think more DeBell.
I'd say Robertson's an easier get.
So just for people that don't know, they're both on the Central Coast.
Central Coast,
basically south of Wyong and north of.
But the Hunter seats are at risk, like Patterson and Hunter.
Gee, there's some rusted on Labor people there. They're traditional.
Yeah, well,
United will never be defied. They're union people.
Aren't
through generations.
Aren't they bleeding enough yet?
No, there's been no proof at the moment. That's what we don't know. I'm saying some of the polling says there's a bit there, but is it enough?
You've seen the trend over the last 10 years.
I know, but it's still. I was in Western Sydney for an election campaign 12 months ago, and I was campaigning.
I was there too.
And that white person who's 50 years old, mate, and they've gone through generations. United will never be defeated because they're union workers.
So they'll vote Labor forever.
To the day they die. Because their father and their grandparents said, you vote Labor.
What about their kids?
That might be different because they're not blue collar workers or something else. They might be white collar workers.
You know, I'd love to see the breakdown of the FARRER result and see how many people under 35 voted for One Nation.
How do you judge that?
Well, you can't.
You
but
can't.
I'd love to.
You can only do polling.
That's right. Unless you're at the booths, unless you're especially in Albury, you have one person at each booth and ask the question personally when they walk out, and some of them say, Nick, I've mind your own business.
Nate says, I reckon it will take another term of ALP, Labor, before Aussies go the One Nation way. And he's also asked the question, New South Wales is in early 2027, right there, March of 2027. It's the New South Wales state election. And Victoria will be in November this year. So that's another test to see what happens. And we will be talking about the Nepean by-election. But before we get there, I want to ask you quickly about the Teal. So the Teal didn't do quite as well.
Not as well. The numbers wise, that their vote didn't. The Labor vote didn't go straight across the Teal.
Okay, so we've seen a few elections now where the Teals, some of the shine has come off a little bit. Richard, you said that this would happen. They're still very strong, I suppose you would say, in their heartland of Warringah, Mackellar, and Wentworth,
and maybe Bradfield now.
Oh, Bradfield was very tight. Bradfield was way too tight.
But see what happens after the next election.
Yeah, but
and also, there's also an issue with the quality of the member. She's a fool.
Okay.
She's well, they all are, aren't they?
No, some of them are talented fools.
Well,
she's just a straight out fool.
She's the black sheep, maybe.
There's two things. There's an old saying, the mob are starting to work them out.
Yep.
And secondly, they've got competition.
Explain that.
Competition is they don't like the major parties. And up to about 12 months ago, some people say it was only a Teal.
So you're saying that One Nation is the most dangerous thing to the Teals?
Yeah, to win seats outside the inner city.
Yeah.
Because if there's two competitions, they're not getting the whole vote.
Yeah.
So if three of us who hate the majors, 12, 18 months ago, it was all three were going to vote Teal. Now it could be one or two that might vote One Nation.
Yeah.
So their primary vote is on 28 or 30%. They can't win the seat.
Yeah, right.
They got to get to 36, 37.
Yeah.
And that's a different ball game.
Yeah, we have to take that into account. I think it was when Allegra Spender went against Dave Sharma, which was the first time that she ran. Yeah. She didn't actually win on primary vote. No. She won through preferences
off Labor and the Greens.
TPP was 54-46. I campaigned against her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my opinion. That's just off. I'm sure that the geeks at Climate 200 will be talking tomorrow morning with their people saying, well, what's happening here? What are they saying on the ground? That's more important. When you got activists at polling booths, and a lot of I think my personal opinion is a lot of those people who worked as Teals in the polling booths, they're activists and they know exactly what they're doing. Everyone would have put a report in at each booth and say what was your reaction for his and all that. Once again, it's all data gathering, stored away for future elections.
I think they're
all geeks, mate. They're all geeks, and it's all done It's all done what polling tells them to say.
Yeah.
Fancy Michelle Milthorpe the other day, been funded by Climate 200, and said, "Oh, we won't get to net zero by 2050." It's because of whatever it takes to win the seat.
Yep.
Because if she gets to Canberra, the next press conference will be 7 of them all lined up behind her.
Yeah.
Yep. Why did she have David Pocock campaigning with her then? Why did she have Helen Haynes coming across the border and holding her bags for her?
That'd be, I personally think they would say we shouldn't have brought Pocock across.
Well, that wasn't.
Haynes might have been. Haynes might have been. All right, been okay, but you shouldn't have brought Pocock across. He believes in most water flows to go down to the mouth of the Murray River and the ocean and go out for nature.
That's one of his more moderate views.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. Yeah. Well, the person in Moana
and
someone in Wentworth who is a farmer and needs irrigation. Not going to vote for him. What's Pocock doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, Helen Haynes should have just shut up. She had nothing constructive to say. And when she gave a little speech on election night, it was like she'd lost the seat.
Can you just explain who Helen Haynes is?
Helen Haynes is the member for Indi in Victoria,
which is the other side of the river.
Yeah, and she was losing it. She was almost tearing up. I mean, what a disgraceful performance.
But the Teals will learn from that, and they won't let the next future Pocock won't be down that way.
Well, damage is done.
I'm just saying, but they make it's. But Stephen, I'm saying to you, they've experimented with a few things, and some parts worked and some parts doesn't. But it's all on their data,
Well, here's a comment from someone that actually lives in rural communities when talking about the Teals. So Sally says, not sure about city campaigns, but rural Teals misled voters with their community independent name tag and didn't openly own the Climate 200 Teal badge. The lack of integrity was off-putting.
Absolutely true. And they always do it.
Yeah.
They always pretend that they're independents, and yet they're a party, but they don't want to be a party because then they'd have to reveal all their.
But it comes back to
financial.
But it comes back again. The mob is starting to work them out.
Yeah,
people are starting to work out. The people saying, "Okay, who these people are?"
They're fake independents.
I accept that, but it's a model that they've used, and that's how they've done it. I can name some examples in the South Australian election. There's a seat. We got time for that?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, there's a seat where a fake Teal was running in the seat of Flinders, which is a seat that goes from Port Lincoln all the way to the Western Australian border.
Right.
And I think they thought they would win the seat off the Liberal Party, but the One Nation vote was 28%. She only got 15, 7, and around another independent up the other end. Combined was 20%. That came third.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say, that competition for that anti-major vote is between the Teal now, and suddenly it's One Nation.
Let me give you maybe a little bit of a crystal ball of what might happen and how the Teals may attack One Nation. So you guys know that I went out to the Central West Arena recently, toured Wellington and Dunedoo and did that footage where I interviewed everyone there. And so I made a little bit of a mini documentary about how rural people are reacting to the rollout of renewables. So one of the constituents in Warringah sent that to Zali Steggall's office to say, hey, look, there are people out in rural communities that are not happy about the policies that you're pushing, renewable policies. So they got a response back, which they forwarded to me, and I should have had it ready to talk about the response. And it was basically saying, oh, blah 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 blah. You know, we do understand that some people are upset, but
so it's a wordsmith, a gobbledygook of nothing.
But here's one of the points. It was I can't remember exactly what the wording was, but basically it was like, I don't trust that Stephen Tripp.
But once in the geek in Climate 200 was saying,
hold on. Don't trust that Stephen Tripp. He was a former One Nation candidate, and One Nation takes donations from the fossil fuel industry.
That's right.
Does it?
Right? Now, the pot calling the kettle black, Climate 200 give them hordes of money. Zali Steggall spent $750,000 on her 2022 campaign, which anyone can go onto the AEC website and look at. You can see all the donations that she got that were at least declared, and we know a lot of them weren't declared because it came under the threshold. But you can also have a look at and see how much money I spent, and I didn't get a single cent from the fossil fuel industry. I didn't get a single cent from One Nation either. I spent $6,000 on my campaign. $2,000 of that did come from donations, but that was people living in the area, just every day.
And outside the area.
Yeah, okay. One of them sitting here right now. But they talk about misinformation and integrity in political campaigning, where they're sending emails out like that, trying to almost defame me as taking money from the fossil fuel industry, which I would love, by the way, if they wanted to send some money my way. I mean, we fight a lot of their battles. I've always said if the coal industry wanted to send some money to Let's Rethink Renewables, do it, because we fight your battles on your behalf and we haven't got a single cent yet. Yeah. But this is going to be the tactic. Yeah. One Nation is getting all this money from the fossil fuel industry. It's getting money from Gina Reinhart. You can't trust them. Who's
to a point, but I think looking how.
But this is the hypocrisy, because we know that they're getting their money from renewables investors that just treat it as though political campaigns are an investment for them. They spend $2,000 on a campaign, or $2 million on a campaign.
It's like a union fee. It's like a union fee that we pay it to the political that keeps the renewable industry going.
And we keep losing sight of the fact that there is an enormous amount of money that comes in from overseas that funds these people. And it's not documented. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know who's given it. There's no documentation at all, and they get away with it because they claim that they're independents when in fact they are a party, they're a movement, they have an agenda, and
they talk about integrity. There's no integrity.
There's no integrity whatsoever.
Well, the point is,
lying scumbags.
You're hoping what you're hoping is that the mob are starting to work them out. That bloke, the person might think vote for him or not. Instead of voting Teal, they might go One Nation or stay back at Liberal Party or stay back.
See, I think the problem with these Teal electorates in the city areas, a lot of people in those areas, I believe, vote on status. And it's cool to say that you're on Team Zali or Team Sophie Scamps, Team Dr. Sophie or whatever. So I think that's a big part of it.
Did you notice?
Is it that, or is it just such a downer voting for the Liberal Party?
Well, that could be.
Did you notice? Have you noticed the last, did you notice in FARRER and also in the Nepean, when the camera said, who did you vote for? 12 months ago, no one would have said, I'd vote One Nation. Now they're saying, I vote One Nation.
Yeah.
Off the go. See you later.
And more, I like their policies.
Nate says, imagine the damage a Teal would do to a rural community. Well, they're already damaging rural communities because they're pushing the policies that are damaging rural communities, i.e.
well said,
renewable
said
projects. I want to talk about the campaign itself because that was very interesting to me. I mean, you could go and check out the Liberal Party social media. Now, this is their Instagram page. And now this was a by-election where the Liberal Party were running, Labor wasn't running. So you might argue that, okay, well, Liberal Party is taking their focus off Labor just for this by-election, but the Teals were also running. Now, there are some attacks here on the Teals, but there's a lot aimed at One Nation here. A lot of these clips show, or at least attacking David Farley. Why were the Liberals attacking One Nation so much?
Maybe they're polling saying we're polling 20 and One Nation polling 33, for example. If you run a mother of all negative campaigns, go from 33 to 27, and you go from 20 to 24, 25, and get a few preferences from Rennick and all them to get to 28%, and you come second, and you got a chance of beating over the Teal.
You know, there's an old saying, never assume malice when stupidity is a more reasonable option. Let me say,
I agree with you, mate.
Let me say that you're assuming that there was a strategy when stupidity is a much more reasonable
option. At the moment, the Liberal Party tactically is stupidity.
Yeah, there you go. We've all agreed.
I think their strategy backfired. Because it looked terrible. They were constantly attacking David Farley, constantly attacking One Nation, and it was gutter trash stuff. Oh, look, he supported the Labor Party in the past.
He gave a donation to the Teals. He endorsed the Teals.
Just gutter trash stuff.
It's because they got no policies to sell.
Yep.
John the Boy's in the chat, Richard, and you're going to like this comment. John the Boy says the Liberals might have less percentage than Richard's Libertarians at this rate.
That is the ambition of the party.
just running negative campaigns just don't work, especially if they're not listening. If the Liberal Party brand is so toxic, no one's going to listen to you running negative campaigns.
No.
Nate says, when your only advertising is to attack the other party, it shows more about your own party over that they are attacking. And I think that's a good point. I mean, look, the Liberal Party should have been focusing on their policies. What are they going to bring the voters of FARRER? What policies are there? All it was attack One Nation, attack even the few attacks on the Teals. There was nothing on there about policy. Why were you voting for this Liberal Party candidate? What was she going to do for the electorate? What was she going to benefit the electorate?
Because they're saying the negative campaigns work.
Well, they obviously
worked 10, 20 years ago. It did work for against Dutton, but people are saying, hold on, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Things have changed. Running negative campaigns when inflation's up high, cost of living's out of control. We're going to have stagflation soon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You've got to have some policies to combat that.
Graham says, hello, Graham. We haven't seen Graham for a while. I doubt it was Liberal stupidity. I reckon it was arrogance. I agree, because, just go and watch that speech of the candidate after the election. I mean, she's crying and she's thanking everyone. It's like, you got smashed. And they're probably stand up there and say, okay,
we've heard the message.
We've heard it.
In front of probably 50 people.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Looking at it, I had a sneak peek when they looked back into the crowd and said there was only about 3 people on each seat, each round table.
What did you take of Angus Taylor's speech? I didn't think he spoke too badly.
I went to sleep.
Right.
It was.
He took responsibility and stuff like that, which you do. But if he doesn't,
he's an uphill battle, isn't he?
On Thursday, he's replied to the budget speech. He's got to announce a few things. He's got to. If he's just going to bag Chambers on broken promises, fair enough. But people want to say different. It's changed, mate. But the problem is there's a fundamental problem with the Liberal Party, and I've said this publicly, privately. I'll say it now. They have lost confidence. They don't trust themselves. There's so much fighting between themselves, and then I still think they're not employing the best people.
True.
I've been told there's some Liberal people working for One Nation now who are smart boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
because they burn all their good.
That's
people.
right. I'm just saying, and I think deep down, and we'll do a bit in the opinion. Their polling is so unreliable. They would put so much in the Victorian branch. They put so much resources into try and win the PN where they didn't need to. They were never going to lose the seat, you know. And then they've sent not much resources in the FARRER. Then they went big on. They said we're going to put our manpower there. What's going on? What are your polling saying?
The Liberals would have been better off not standing in FARRER.
Oh, you had to defend the seat. You just can't. Well, you let the Nationals run.
It would have worked better for them than what they did.
The problem with the Nationals, they've got no infrastructure there because Lee's had the seat for 25 years.
So
that might take 5 years to recover.
I also want to show this clip when we're talking about how the Liberal Party campaigned and how they attacked One Nation. Now, this was footage that came out from Senator James Patterson, James Patterson, confronting a One Nation volunteer.
Well, yeah.
Are you getting a video?
Yes, I am. Wait.
Video me, mate. Don't video me without my bloody knowledge,
What's your name, by the way? What's your name, mate?
You know what my name is.
Say it. What's your name?
I'll walk away.
That's assault.
You're a liar.
You have just committed an assault.
I had never assaulted anyone.
Yes, you did. You just grabbed my phone.
I grabbed your phone because you don't have permission to video it.
It's a public place.
You're a lying, deceitful man.
That's an assault, mate.
You're a lying, deceitful man, and you're utilising it as a defamation.
Alan. Yeah, you're responsible for your conduct, mate.
Don't lower yourself. You're responsible for your conduct. Yeah. What you've done is you've done yourself.
Good job, mate.
Well, it looks terrible, doesn't it? I mean, look,
and it got to media. He went to the ABC, he went to the Australian. He just spread it out, bang, straight out. But it's old tactics.
But look terrible. Like, he's a senator. Firstly, why are you engaging in that sort of behaviour? Why have you got your phone out? You look. I mean, who are you trying to be? You're meant to be a professional, a sitting member of Parliament, and you're confronting an elderly
pensioner
man. Okay, was he in the wrong? Should he grab your phone? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
If you have a
But-
conversation with a person in the public you don't need to put a phone like that. If he's abusing you,
you just walk away. You walk away.
Yeah.
But he was trying to cause a scene, and I think this is another example of how things are backfiring for the Liberals. You're right. I don't think they know what to do. I don't know. I don't think they know how to react. They don't know how to be in public. They don't know how to deal with the public.
That's right.
They're so entitled. They're so arrogant.
And he's a very good parliamentarian. He's one of the better ones there.
Yeah, but I just don't think this is one of his shining.
Well, he'd be sitting home tonight. I think he'd be embarrassed by that.
You should be.
I think that's my.
Well, he wouldn't be if he's arrogant.
No, he would be. He'd know. He's smart enough to know that he made a mistake.
If he's in Parliament this week,
I mean,
Pauline. I wouldn't surprise if Pauline gives him a gobful unless she's given him a gobful already, or Pauline might just ignore him, saying, "You freaking idiot! What are you trying to do?"
How about this comment from John? I had a Liberal member tell me months ago that they need to be more centrist to win seats, and I disagreed completely. And
how's that working for them?
Well, he says, and he came to me today and said I was right. So maybe the Liberals are even starting to wake up.
Well,
they got some fundamental problems. I just don't know where they stand. I don't know. The problem is they fight between themselves. The only thing this is another. But like their federal branch is a mess. Most branches are a mess. New South Wales is a disgrace.
They're all
There's only one.
geriatrics.
There's
They're all
only one thing they've done one thing right in Victoria. Peter Credlin's husband is the president of the Victorian branch now.
So
he's a smart man, mate. No. Honestly,
he's no dummy.
He's a very smart man. Pity's not president 6 months ago.
Well, apparently Tony Abbott is running for president.
No, he's got no. He gets bored. But that's a federal role. I think it's a backward because he'd be almost like the opposition leader. That'd be my opinion. But what I'm trying to say comes back to the administration. Brian Locknell. What's his last name?
Lockname. Yeah.
He's a smart man. On Sky the other day, a Labor person said, mate, that's one of the best appointments they've ever done in Victoria.
Well,
yeah.
He knows what to, and he's disciplined.
That's what they were saying about the federal intervention. Oh, this is a great move.
In New South Wales.
This is going to help Dutton, blah, blah, blah. And it did nothing. They did nothing.
When you're talking to the New South Wales Liberal Party, mate, they're a law to themselves. Yeah. They're lawless.
Yeah, well, I want to talk.
You should know better than that too. I'm
just bringing it up. I'm just saying that they talk about this rubbish all the way through, and nothing.
Ex-members and members have gone to other parties, and coming back to that, there are some Liberals who have gone to One Nation branches. They're the ones that they're causing trouble.
They would, because they wouldn't know any other way.
That's right. They're born. They're born.
It was like how Tanya Mihaly came into One Nation in 2023. She had that factional mindset, and we're all sitting there going, "What? Like, we don't have any factions here."
That's right.
And she caused issues.
And I know for a fact there are a couple of branches, not just in Sydney but also in Victoria, that have caused trouble.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't say this, but that was my thought straight away. The more Liberals that
I've told
go over the One Nation, they're going to bring that factional garbage with them.
I've told
a lot of them are these boomers, as young people call them, that just need to get out of the goddamn way. They're just horrible.
The problem they've been Liberal Party for 20 years, never won a factional battle.
But that's why they're the last people that you want to recruit, because they're the ones that drop the ball.
Well, I've said
they're the ones that fail. This is the reason why the Liberal Party is in the state that it's in, because of these people.
I said to one branch person, I said, "There's 3 or 4 Liberals here. If I had my way, we ring up head office and say you got 4 Liberals here. They're troublemakers. Take away their memberships. They're trouble. I'm saying they could cause trouble. I know one of them is a real troublemaker already, and the other 3 are with him. Or else we'll go get."
Just quickly, John's predicting a hung parliament in Victoria. You guys seeing it the same way?
Interesting, John. I think how many seats of One Nation will win, and where are they going to win them?
Well, they'll win all the regional ones that Labor have. If you take the result,
there might be some national. There might be some national seats that might be in trouble.
That's true too, but there aren't that many.
Oh, there's 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, well,
or more. All those. There's a couple of seats on the Murray, and there's a couple out.
They'll get some of those. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to run some personalities past.
I think Labor will win just or be minority government with Greens.
I think Labor will win.
Yeah.
They've got to win. Libs have got to win 16 seats, and that's a hard job because the Teals are going to run in some of those inner city seats. And you think One Nation will win a couple seats in the outer suburbs or in the regions?
Yeah,
surely
both.
If you're polling, as you say, you're polling 25. If you're polling 25% in the Nepean, what are you polling in the Morwell?
Yeah,
or along the Murray? There's a seat. It's the safest National Party seat in Victoria. See the Murray Plains.
Yeah.
Nationals get 70% of the votes. Now there could be a revolution along the Murray. They could say if there's a decent One Nation candidate, there's a retiring member, it could go from 70% down to 50 or 42. Won't be enough to win the seat, but you just don't know these days.
I want to tie a bow on FARRER.
Okay.
By asking you guys some questions about some of the personalities that were involved. Pauline Hanson, how do you think she's feeling right now?
Elated.
$1 million.
Elated.
Do you think she's taking a step back and looking at her whole career? Because this is something that she's been striving for.
You're talking about legacy.
Well, yeah, if you're setting up a party, the dream is to get a lower house seat. That's the ultimate prize. It's better than getting a Senate spot.
My oath, yeah.
So this is the ultimate prize.
The ultimate prize is if she runs in Blair and defeats the Labor member at the next federal election.
Well,
she won't run in Blair.
But the rumours are that both
That's where
Barnaby
she
and
lives.
Pauline are talking about lower house.
She lives in
She lives in
Wright.
Does she?
Yeah.
Well,
and that's a big swing too.
Scotty Buckholz is better.
He'd be a very nervous man tonight.
I'm laughing because of this comment from John the Boy, and this was exactly my experience as well. So I can vouch for what John is about to.
What do you say?
John's written here. Every time I go to a Liberal Party meeting as a visitor, they're all boomers, and they look like they're about to die.
There you go.
They're on death's door and all the.
They're all geriatrics.
Well, because of factional numbers.
Yeah.
They won't let people into the party.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they'd rather die than lose their factional battle.
Well, as Bernie Finn says, they're more interested in that.
Beating the state seat than beating the Labor or anyone else.
Yep.
Okay, so Pauline's feeling pretty good.
My oath.
What about David Farley? Will he stick around?
I think he will.
Sam knows better. Well, this is one of the things that the Liberal Party and the National Party were trying to stir up some commotion about.
And they're
already talking about.
Everyone's talking. The Liberals were thinking, and the Nationals, and the Libertarians, and the Family First, and the Jared Rennies. They're hoping that anyone in the next 12 months bails out and say, "I'm sitting on the crossbench."
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it's someone in David Farley or someone from South Australia, anyone that's registered as a One Nation MP.
Yeah.
They just want one, and they campaign their backsides off it. So you vote for One Nation, they end up in the crossbench.
Yeah.
Got a comment from Graham, and I want to see if you agree with this, Sam. One Nation policies have not really changed over the years. What has changed is the organisational structures.
My oath. Yeah.
You agree with that?
Oh, they've got money coming in. Everyone talks about Gina, but there's a lot of other donors too, mate.
Yeah.
What
about
there might be 1,000 members who might have given $1,000 each. That's $1 million.
Do you think Lee Hanson is having a role to play in that?
My oath. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
She's the new face.
She is the new face, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. What about Barnaby Joyce? He defected only recently. It's only probably like a year, within a year.
Months.
Is it less?
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was November. Was 6 months.
Wow. Okay, so it hasn't been. I guess at this stage we won't know until.
There's life
10,
in the
20
old
years.
dog.
But has he made the right decision?
Absolutely. He's gone from being an irrelevant has been on the backbench to being a national figure again.
Yeah. Going on Monday morning on Sunrise, going to doing interviews in Parliament House in Sky or ABC. Yeah. It's ego, mate. You know what I'd be thinking tonight? He'd be sleeping. He'd be on the porch on Danglemaar. First, he get his report how many cows they're in drought up there. It's getting real dry out there in the northwest.
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy who lives around Tamworth, near Tamworth, but on the south side. He said, "Mate, it's getting real bad out here. They could even have drought, water restrictions in the next if they have a real dry winter."
Yeah.
But he'd be on the porch tonight having a beer with Vicky. saying, do I run downstairs or do I go back upstairs? That would be the $64 million.
I think he would probably feel more confident running downstairs than Pauline would. I think Barnaby has a bigger shot of winning New England than Pauline does winning a seat in Queensland. But you never know.
There's a big One Nation voting, right? There's a big one there, and she's a national figure.
Remember, FARRER 12 months ago was only 6.6%. 12 months later was 39.4%.
Yeah. Well, what happens in those Queensland seats? What happens in Wide Bay?
What happens in New England?
Where one of our good friends is, hopefully going to run.
I spoke to her the other day.
Yeah. Good.
Sounds confident.
She should.
Yeah. I
Angus-
said, just watch it. There might be a star candidate, and you might be on the back burner.
Yeah.
But you know what I said to her?
Look, no one knows who you're talking about right now.
I said to her, if the polling numbers hold up, and it's a big question mark, run as number 2 on the Senate ticket to Pauline.
Yeah.
Because they're averaging 25%,
but-
and that's close to 2 quotas.
But would you rather be a senator or would you rather be in the lower house?
Doesn't matter. You're in one of the seats in there, mate.
Well, speaking of one of our good friends, Katie McCallum says Queenslanders love One Nation.
Yes,
That's
Katie.
what we need right now, an election in Queensland to see.
Absolutely right. The thing about Pauline is she's
And I'm serious, Katie. I'm serious. Oh.
Sam can't. Give his big mouth shut.
Sorry about that, Katie. Sorry.
Tell me about Angus Taylor.
What's that?
Is anyone listening to him?
No.
How's he feeling right now?
I would say he's having a bit of a crisis of conscience. He might be worrying about things.
He's just got to fast track a few things.
But if I was him, I'd be looking at what I'm going to do for my next job.
Because the city Hume, Western Southwestern Sydney,
One Nation territory.
south of Camden, all the way down to Yarrabullen.
Does One Nation run a star candidate against Angus Taylor and Hume?
No.
If you're a ruthless political operator, what do?
You run a star candidate.
Bloody oath.
How about a pretty girl?
There's no second.
They don't have any pretty girls.
Do they?
Oh, there's
Not that I
one
know
there
of.
and there around Tarmore.
I wouldn't say she's pretty. Probably the opposite, actually. I can't think of anything nice to say. Anthony Albanese. Do you think he's feeling comfortable right now?
Absolutely not.
He'd be concerned.
I can't believe you guys said pretty. Are you guys off your face? You guys, you boomers, you go for anything. A lot of inside talk on this one.
Yeah, this is a lot of complicated internal stuff. Only us three know this sort of internal stuff.
All right, Graham. Let's go to some comments. Graham says the lower house has to be the target for One Nation at the next election. Interesting. Has to be the target. So, is this a shift as well? They're moving away from focusing on the Senate, and could that be a mistake? Maybe they shoot too high.
Consolidate.
Okay.
So, coming back to South Australia, they've won 4 lower house seats. If I saw Corey Bernardi now, I'd say, Corey knows what he's doing. You sandbag, next 4 years' time, you sandbag those 4 seats and consolidate it.
Nate says, you guys are in New South Wales. I'm Queensland, and yet everyone is talking about One Nation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Katie, I hope she's talking about Angus Taylor. She could be talking about Anthony Albanese. I say he wants to go on holidays to Antarctica and never come back.
I'll pay. A one-way ticket.
Katie says,
Katie, just think
have you
about...
fellas been chugging the wine? Well, let me say this. The link to StreamYard is in the chat. If you scroll all the way back to the top, you'll find the link to StreamYard. Anyone that wants to call in, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your reaction from the FARRER by-election. We want to hear what the people are thinking. So if you want to call in, we'd love to talk to you. We are getting towards the end. All right, so that's FARRER out of the way. What about Nepean? Because One Nation didn't win Nepean. The Liberal Party did win Nepean. So for people that don't know, Nepean is an electorate in the Victorian State Parliament. They had a by-election recently.
Down in the Mornington Peninsula.
Yep, this was the result. So the Liberal Party candidate, or well, not candidate, the member of Parliament, Anthony Marsh, has a 63.6% two-party preferred vote up against the independent. Now, was that a Teal independent?
Yeah.
Yep. So another Teal floating around there.
Yeah.
But look, they're saying that One Nation didn't do so well. I mean, looking at that, they got 24.5% in the Victorian state election. I mean, that's pretty good. And as you said, Sam, if that vote replicates west, that One Nation, east
of the P.
East, okay, they start picking up seats, right?
My oath, they have to. It's the laws of arithmetic. If you're polling 25, you've got to have good areas and bad areas.
Yeah.
And even that South, I come back to South Australia, even the inner city seats, One Nation still, except for 2 electorates, everything was double figures.
Yeah.
2 electorates were Suit of Unley and Suit of Bragg, which is.
Well, you saw what Cos said. He said what happened in Dramana and Rosebud will be replicated in all the seats east of it, and Hastings, and
Morwell.
Yeah,
I think they're targeting Morwell.
Yeah, so
I think Morwell
it's like
they really are targeting.
This is
and that's come from
a game-changing event.
Yeah.
Even though One Nation only got 25%, relatively speaking, it was still a game changer.
Oh, my oath it was. My oath it was, yeah. And they didn't take votes off Liberal because Labor didn't run. Once again, 4 years ago, when Labor did run with the Greens and all that sort of thing, that was a combined total of about 35% or something like that.
And they won the seat. It was a Labor seat for a
while. No, Dan Andrews won in 18. He got beaten in 22 with Sam Groff.
Oh, okay, yep.
But so
only just won.
I know he got 48% of the vote, won by 56-44. But the combined vote of the Green vote and the Labor vote in the 22 election was about 35% or something like that. Well, because the Greens ran dead, but they still ran with the Teal. It was only about 30. So where's that 8% gone? It's gone to One Nation. Where else? It couldn't go.
Is there anything?
Because Rennick didn't run. There was Libertarian that
Libertarian did badly.
1.2.
Yeah.
Is there is there anything from the pen that stood out to you?
Well, I was told Cos Samara said, and it's coming back to what happened.
Explain who Cos Samara is.
He's a pollster.
Yeah,
I swear.
One of the most prominent pollsters out there.
Very clever guy.
He said, and I saw this today, One Nation. Remember we said they need a ground game. You got to have a ground game. In the pen, there was 13 booths. He said they had every booth covered. Pre-poll covered. And they say yesterday in FARRER, I don't know if it's, I was told that every booth was covered from Albury to Wentworth and up to Hillston and Mahay.
Yeah. Sam, now for someone that we were going to make a shirt of from you that says I got that wrong, a lot of people seem to value your opinion.
All right.
Such as Katie. Katie asked this question. We did talk about this a little bit. What does Sam think will happen in Victoria?
I think One Nation will win some votes, but there's a problem in Victoria. The ALP will run a mother of all negative campaigns based on this stat. That 71% of Australians hate Trump. And they'll plaster One Nation to Trump, and Pauline will have to go down a lot more down there to try and win people over. And I'm sure their infrastructure that will try and.
So what you're really saying is all the parties are going to fight dirty against One Nation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So what does One Nation do in response to that? Did they just focus on policy?
Focus on policy and stick to what we.
Yeah.
And that's where the discipline of the workers in the polling, but you don't want this James Patterson incident again.
No. You say less rather than more.
I've learned when I've been in polling booths because of One Nation thing.
Well, that One Nation guy, he snatched the phone. We're saying, okay, that was probably not the best move, but I think he handled himself. He calmed down very quickly and tried to diffuse this.
Maybe he realised he made a mistake.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, everyone makes mistakes in the heat of the moment.
My question would be, did that person been trained?
Well, you should know this answer. Sam, when do you get training?
It's probably no, but I'm saying the Teal through Get Up or anyone else would have been trained.
What Teal?
Yeah. If there'd been a Teal in that situation.
If the Teal had been, yeah.
Because they've been trained, or they're activists who know what they're doing. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. And I've said to a person we know, I said, when you get your state election in 12 months' time, you make sure all your volunteers, it's just a 10-minute sit down, say, this is what you do and this is what you don't do. Okay? And have a video of that incident of James Patterson said, you do not get into this situation.
Yep.
Run away. Run away from him.
Yep.
The only problem with that old bloke was, had he been there all week and you get tired. As you know, mate, you get mentally tired. So it's a grind. You're standing up from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not the first week, but the second week. You've gone 10 days.
Everything hurts.
Everything mentally. It's more physically on the feet than it gets to your head.
Yeah.
It's happened to me. I've cracked up. I got cracked up with a bloke in Hornsby on the Friday. It was a candidate. He only got 1% because he got the donkey vote. He was number one. But I'm just saying I lost concentration. It was just a grind.
Do that all the time.
That's right.
Okay. What I want to do now, I want to unveil a new segment. Okay. And this segment's only going to appear when I'm with the two of you. But this segment's called I Got That Wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I've got a litany of them.
Sam's very good at analysing data. He's not good at predicting. But this segment's going to be about predictions. Now, the first one I had was the predictions for the Victorian election, but I think we've already done that. We've been there. What about the New South Wales state election? We haven't talked about that. That's less than a year away. We're in New South Wales. We're seeing it. This FARRER by-election was in New South Wales. So you might be able to say or draw some parallels on how One Nation may go in the bush. What are some of the issues that are happening in the bush?
Few things in the bush. There are some independents who are popular. So Helen Dalton in Murray, which is basically half the electorate, anything west of this side of Griffith.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's been campaigning water for years and years and years. Exactly what David Farley did. So she's a very popular. She won't get beat.
Yep.
And the other made big seat, which is the seat of Barwon, which goes from Narrabri to Broken Hill. Bloke called Roy Butler. I follow him. He will not. One day he could be at Narrabri. 24 hours later he could be in Broken Hill.
Yeah.
Very popular bloke, so he won't beat them.
Yeah. What about the orange guy?
He's very popular too.
Yeah. So they're closed for business basically.
Yeah.
You're talking about Andrew G.
No, bloke called Phil Donato.
Phil Donato. Yeah.
Oh, Andrew G's federal. Isn't
That's right.
Yeah.
I would think the seats are in play. Western Sydney, west of Parramatta.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question.
The question
We've
is,
been focusing on One Nation, but we've seen Liberals wiped out in Western Australia. We've seen the Liberals wiped out in South Australia. We've seen the Liberals wiped out in FARRER.
Yeah.
What happens in New South Wales?
Something similar.
The only thing I would say that people do differentiate between state politics and federal politics too. There is a differentiation.
Where are they safe?
After yesterday.
Do you remember Mark, what's his name? The previous leader? Speakman before Kelly.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
People didn't even know who he was when he was the leader.
Well, that's my point.
Who was the leader? I know it's a girl. What's the lady's
Kelly
name?
Sloan.
Kelly Sloan. That's right.
She
just can't. She just looks like a moderate. Like
she's
a moderate.
Yeah. Well, the girl in South, they say the girl in South Australia saved a couple of seats for him. What's her name? Ashton Hearn.
Yeah,
she saved a couple of seats.
Yep.
She's probably I don't know what the Lib. I think the late Libs will do a deal. The moderates in New South Wales, they will do a deal with One Nation.
John the boy says the Australian Christians have registered for the New South Wales election.
Yeah, I knew that.
Who won almost 2 upper house seats in the Western Australian state election.
John, they only won one. They got full quota. They only won the one. They got basically 1.001. So. Yeah.
Well, that's the interesting thing that's also going to happen in New South Wales. Now, the Libertarians will be running.
Yep.
Family First will be running. The Heart Party, the Citizens Party, but no Joe Rennick. When I checked it,
the Heart aren't running.
Heart have done a deal with Libertarians.
Oh, well, they're registered. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so Heart have registered, but they won't run.
That's right.
So
the problem with Lyle Shelton and Family First and Australian Christians, they'll eat each other up. They'll both poll 1 or 1.5%.
And then One Nation will eat the rest.
Yep.
What happened to the Nationals in New South Wales in the state election?
They got too close to the Liberals and caught something.
Mate.
No, but what will happen, Richard?
Well, I know one I know one MP told me 2 months ago, one Nationals state MP told me this. He used to talk to me. I saw him 2 months ago. I said, how's it going? He said, and he used to have a conversation with me. He only said 4 words to me.
Go away, Sam.
No.
Go away, Sam. That's 3 words. Now?
And this bloke...
Come on, Sam. What were the 4 words?
Let's see if people can come up with 4 words in the chat.
His words were, Barnaby is killing me.
Barnaby is killing me.
And tonight he'd be at home thinking, I'm gone here.
Wow. Well, yeah. Well, so what? Okay. So Barnaby, how does that explain this? Does that explain some of the support One Nation is getting? How much did Barnaby bring with him? I'm going to argue he brought credibility.
Yeah, legitimacy, experience.
Yeah,
experience is everything.
Yeah.
What about behind the scenes, Richard?
Well, again, what you started with, legitimacy. That means that he can get good people.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and if it's a bad day, he can smooth it over. Like with the bloke in head office in Brisbane, where he got he's an ex-rapist.
Yeah.
He said he owned up to it and swum that over to a point. You know?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay. First from John the Boy. John the Boy says family first vote halved in South Australian opinion and FARRER. Well, that's
Correct.
probably the One Nation effect.
Correct.
Yep.
And then Katie says T-shirt, go away, Sam. Now. I've got to start making these shirts. I don't know who's going to buy them, but
no one will buy it.
John the Boy says Barnaby brought a lot of credibility because of his public profile.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he was a former deputy prime minister. That goes a long way. Okay. We've talked about this a little bit. Maybe we want to expand on this in this I got that wrong segment.
Yeah.
Defections to One Nation. Can you predict any? You brought up Colin Boyce.
There might be some state MPs.
Lou.
Yeah.
What about Lou?
Lou O'Brien.
Lou O'Brien. Yeah. And maybe a Labor.
Oh, no way.
It's happened before.
Who?
Mark Latham, Tanya Mihalik.
Yeah, but they were out of Parliament. Tanya, well, that was the biggest mistake. I'll say this publicly now, privately, and they all both said they were warned. They were warned 3 months before. The Labor people in Macquarie Street were telling them, don't touch Tanya.
Yeah.
They were warned by everyone in the Labor Party, don't touch her.
Mm.
Mark just flobbed it off.
Yeah.
And Rod just said, okay.
Well, that's another question. Will One Nation want these defections? We're talking about they might not want some of these Liberal people coming into their branches. Do they want people that have been involved in the Liberal Party and the National Party coming in and bringing that factional mindset?
The Nationals have a bit of faction, but they do it quietly. There is a faction. They say there's 2 factions in the Nationals. It's what's called the coastal Nationals, people who have got seats on the coast.
Yeah.
On the other side is the mountains, and that's run by Barnaby. Was run by Barnaby.
Mm.
Now I don't know what's happened now, but I've lost my contact from the Nats
because he won't talk to you anymore.
Yeah, basically in a nutshell.
Katie says, I honestly can't see Colin Boyce going orange. Well, go and read that Guardian article.
Yeah.
I mean, he's thinking about it.
He's leaked it out. Surely he wouldn't have done it if he did. Yeah. Honestly, he wouldn't. Yeah.
Katie might not have seen the Guardian article. So
Google it, Kate.
It's right here. So again, as Sam said before, it's in the Guardian, which you may say is not reliable, but
it's on news.com and stuff like that. So it's spread like wildfire.
Yeah. So okay. All right. Another prediction that I want to get your thoughts on, and maybe Richard, you can enlighten us a little bit on this. What about the minor parties? Do some of them collapse? Do some of them merge? What happens now after this FARRER by-election result? Do they react? Do they panic? What happens?
They've already started panicking.
Mm.
That's the short answer to that. One Nation is taking away their oxygen and, basically just strangling them. And some will survive, they'll always be, family first.
It's the people behind. Lyle's so determined to get to Parliament.
Yeah.
He's playing. He'll do it if it takes him 15 years.
That's a good point.
He's so determined. I don't talk to Lyle, but I used to. Lyle's so determined to get into Parliament, but he's hopeless at politics.
Yeah, well, he's got very determined support as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one survivor. There might be one or two more, but
I don't think Rennick.
What about defection? And I can see this guy probably doing very well as a One Nation person. He probably aligns very much with their way of thinking, and that's John Ruddock.
Oh, look, there's always that possibility, but we'll see.
I reckon he only go One Nation if they give him a Senate spot.
Yeah.
Which they probably won't.
No.
So,
and he'd be too he'd be too unreliable. He's the sort of bloke that would go to the crossbench.
Well, you call it unreliability. Yeah. I call it, strong-mindedness.
Well, that's what I personally think, I'm going to be controversial, I wouldn't touch John with a barge pole.
John says this, I think this is a good point. Minor parties should be advisory groups, work to change One Nation from the inside. Look, I think some of these fringe parties, like the Heart Party, like the Citizens Party, they're probably better off just being lobby groups than political parties. Yeah, I think they'd probably...
Everyone has grand ambitions.
Parties come and go too.
Yeah.
And what happens now, on the longer term, my personal thing, everyone should just stick at it and just keep campaigning.
They have to stick at it.
On the basis, and this would be a John Ruddock theory and some of the other, and Lyle Shelton, they're getting smashed at the moment because of Pauline. When Pauline retires, you just don't know what the polling's going to be.
Or when Pauline implodes.
I've got
that's another thing. That John Ruddock and Lyle Shelton and everyone else, the major parties are just hoping one person. It could be someone in Western Australia, anywhere in the country.
Or if Barnaby, Barnaby, if there's a split between Barnaby and Pauline, it all unravels.
Yep,
it's over.
There was an article saying that that some nationals say want Barnaby back.
That's what they're hoping, but it's like they're winning now. So it's that no one interrupts a winner.
No,
So I've got a hot rumor for you, though.
Go on then.
That the Liberal Party is about to merge with the Liberal Democrats, formerly the Libertarian Party.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm just teasing you.
Who wins out of that?
Nobody.
So if I was part of the minority,
I don't even bother attacking the Libertarians anymore. It's not even worth it.
But I've noticed that.
I'm saying to you, if you belong to a minor party of the Libertarians or one, Lyle Shelton or Rennick.
Yeah.
I don't know about Rennick. I don't think Rennick's. I don't. Persevere for the next couple of years. Get out there, keep campaigning. Yeah. Keep campaigning and hoping that in 2 or 3 years' time, Pauline falls over or there's a defection and you can campaign. That bloke in South Australia was only there for 12 months. He's on the crossbench. He's left.
Yeah.
Campaign that sort of stuff.
Find a niche. Pick on a couple of seats. Concentrate on them. Try and have an impact.
Of a minority party. Yeah.
If you're in one of these minor parties, like Family First, like the Libertarians, why are you there? Is it ego? Is it because
I'd say they believe in that philosophy. I've got no problem with that. That's what I think.
I wouldn't join any other party than the Libertarian Party.
No other party would have you.
Well, that's true too.
No,
I mean it is a party that not just tolerates dissent, but it embraces it.
Yeah.
And it's like I would get thrown out of every other party.
Yeah, that'd be my advice: is to keep persevering. Hopefully, One Nation fall over to a point.
Katie says Pauline will not retire or implode. She is like the Energizer Bunny. And then Katie goes on to say, "Who are the Libertarians?"
That's mean.
John the Boy says, "Who takes the party when Pauline retires. Malcolm is great, but he cannot hold it on his shoulders. He's also looking pretty frail.
He is frail.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because we need Malcolm Roberts. I saw an article or a post on social media that was asking the question of whether Malcolm Roberts is the most important politician in Australia. I think he's definitely up there, whether he's the top guy or not. We definitely need Malcolm Roberts, and I wish they could clone him a few times over. But how many years has he got left in the tank?
Yeah.
But who does take over One Nation if Pauline retires? At this stage, I don't think she will. I think they'll have to cart her out in a coffin.
I think
Lee will take over.
that's right.
Lee Hanson will take over.
Lee Hanson,
And if she can't find it, if
not
she doesn't-
Barnaby.
No.
It's nepotism over.
No, it's
just
not nepotism. It's
keeping the name.
it's more a lineage that you want to preserve.
Yeah, I don't have a big problem with that. Pauline started it. Like she wants to pass
and
it on.
Lee's earned everything she's got, and she will every step of the way. I think.
Okay,
I'm really impressed with her.
If she can't win a seat in Tasmania, she'll just go back up to Queensland and get the seat there.
Or she might win a seat in Tasmania.
She's going to be.
Depends what Jackie Lambie does. If she pull the pin, or Tammy Taylor,
Tammy Terrell.
Yeah.
There'll
There'll be some resistance. There'll be some.
Nate says Malcolm and Hanson are the same age. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I thought Roberts was older.
Well, he looks older, but Pauline keeps herself in good nick. I will say that. Nate says, I believe it will be Lee. And Lee is a powerhouse of a woman. I think people are starting to realize that.
Yeah.
She does. She is very impressive. Okay, last thing I wanted to get you guys get you guys to comment on, and this is part of the prediction segment as well, the budget. So this is the next big thing that's going to come out. Chalmers is going to deliver his next budget. The economy, I think, is headed for a brick wall. A lot of people are going to face a lot of pain if they're not already. Interest rates are going up. Inflation is high, unemployment's creeping up, wages not really moving.
No.
Labor's going to just try and throw money at it, which is only going to confound the problem because it's government spending that's causing the problem, and they're just going to try and spend more. What happens in the budgets, Richard?
Tax and spend.
They just keep on taxing more, spending more, kicking cans down the road. That's their only strategy. They don't want to deal with anything. This is what Sam said tonight was the Dan Andrews playbook, which is to just keep deferring everything that you possibly can and get out before anyone realizes.
Yep.
So it's tried, it's proven, and you need some very practiced liars to pursue it, and they've got. And that's the one thing they're very rich in. They've got liars coming out of their wiser.
Then Albanese got to learn how to get out at the right time.
Yep.
Like Dan did.
Yep. And Chalmers.
Interesting comment from Sally. John Ruddick and the New South Wales Libertarians have been the strongest voices against the energy policy that is decimating rural New South Wales. They are working tirelessly in state parliament. I know you guys have personal beefs with them, but maybe zoom out for a bit.
No, I agree with all of that. I don't have a personal beef with John at all.
You're in the Libertarians.
Yeah, that's not true at all. I think the Libertarian Party is a really positive influence. The only problem is that it's not a big one.
Look, I've always said John Ruddick is one of the best political performers in Australian politics. My biggest problem with John is that he's being held back by this crazy lunatic libertarian philosophy. And the biggest mistakes that the Libertarians ever made was changing their name to the Libertarians. I felt more comfortable with them as the Liberal Democrats. And if I do have a beef with the party, it's solely based on that one thing. I have no problem with the people within the party. Some of them might clash with politically, but that's okay. We get on behind the scenes. So, I mean, there's a lot of people in the Libertarian Party that I like. I've always had, and I've talked about this endlessly on the podcast, and you know this, Richard. Yeah. I have a big problem when they change their name to the Libertarians.
So did I.
Yeah.
And just so you know, we can run at the next state election under the old name, Liberal Democrats.
Oh, God, please don't do that. You can confuse everyone.
Well, that might be a good thing.
Well, what worked for you guys in the past, getting confused with the Liberal Party, is not going to work this time.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying, if the name is toxic, they're not going to go next to a Liberal name. That's right. Yeah, I would advise against that because at the moment, as we've said before, the Liberal name is toxic at the moment.
Yeah. John, the boy, says no one cares. Sorry, no one knows who they are. Who cares about the name? So,
That's a bit savage.
here we go. Some of these comments are coming in thick and fast. From Kilda person. John is brilliant. Well, look, he is. And the only one to tackle mass third world immigration.
I disagree there. Pauline's been going for 30 years on that one.
He's got company there.
John believes in, deep down, my personal, I think John believes in open borders personally. That's mine.
Some of the libertarians do. Some, not all. A lot of people.
None that speak to me.
A lot of the people praising Warren Pickering in the chat as well.
Warren? What's with Warren?
They're just saying he's a good bloke.
All right.
Yeah. So people don't know.
He worked hard in the pen.
Yeah.
I saw him a few times.
All right, guys.
Did you go down there? Did you?
No.
I watched it on television.
Yeah,
I didn't see him on television.
That's all I've got. Anything else that you guys want to finish up on?
Coming back to the primary vote in New South Wales, they could get decimated. They could be down to
Who are you talking about?
the Liberal Party in New South Wales with the optional preferential voting.
Yeah.
They're only polling 15-20%. They can't win.
They're in trouble.
They're in massive trouble.
Yeah,
and they're in trouble. In there are some seats in Western Sydney. Boy, the Liberal seats out there.
Look, I don't think any of us want to say that the Liberal Party is finished for good. I mean, they possibly could come back. I just don't know who comes in and saves them. Who saves the day?
No, you can't. You've got to totally reconstruct the whole thing from the ground up with a new name.
The new name?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Liberal Party name is broken.
That's a libertarian theory.
I don't agree with that.
No.
I think that would be the case.
Well, they've done it before. They were the United Australia Party.
Yeah, it's 80 years ago.
Yeah. So that's
but
what
they don't have a Menzies. This is what I'm saying. There's no one to save them. Menzies was the guy that did
when
John Howard came back in and saved
when the
day.
pupil is ready, the teacher will appear.
Could Costello save the day?
No, he's too old.
No, he's too old, and he's not interested.
Yeah.
Why should he?
There will be some Liberals and National Party people tonight saying, "What the hell's going? What do we do?"
If the Liberals had any sense at all, they would put Jacinta Price in charge and start doing it.
She's up to it.
She's made too many mistakes.
Well, she's probably going to keep on making them, but they're managing to die quickly without making many mistakes.
At the moment, would she win the seat in the Northern Territory?
Who knows? Don't know.
Not if One Nation ran against her.
So
they will.
About to finish up. If anyone's got any questions in the chat, we're happy to answer them. John the Boy says, final guesses for Victorian state primary vote.
No.
Labor, Liberal, One Nation. And it's still a fair way away. The campaign hasn't even started, really.
At the moment, I still think it might be 28 Labor, 28, 29 Liberal, 25 Labor, and 22 One Nation.
Did the Liberals
and 15 Greens.
Do the Liberals have a chance of winning Victoria?
They've got to win 16 seats. That's a lot of seats.
They do have a chance of
what happens if One Nation win half of those?
They do have a chance of having a coalition with One Nation.
Yeah, that's right.
If they're smart.
Yeah.
If they're smart.
And Lochner is smart.
Well,
he doesn't have enough time though.
The leader isn't smart.
Well, he's a smart man. He can make that decision 3 weeks out.
What's the leader's name? It's been there for 5 minutes.
Jess Wilson.
But the point I'm trying to say,
smart.
Lochner will make the decision, political decisions.
Okay.
Tell the factions to shut up. I'm running the show here.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. And there's a smart person in charge. She was with the Nationals for a lot of years, went out back in the private practice, come back the last 6 months. She's not, they say she's a good operator. So they've got, is it too late? Maybe it's too late. If they were around 12 months ago, they might have shut. Like the more redeeming thing, that was just a disgrace.
Stupid.
What the hell? Stupid. When you half got a chance to win the election and you have
should be making her leader, not bloody.
Yeah. No, just keep it on the ticket. And they'll only win. on some of these numbers, they might only win one seat in a lot of these. Liberal and Labor might only win one seat.
I want to ask you
in
this,
each division.
So, Richard, we're seeing a lot of the focus is on the Liberal Party falling apart, but Labor's not doing a hell of a lot better.
At least they're disciplined.
But is their decline being masked by the collapse of the Liberal Party?
No, their strategy to blame Trump or other people or look over there is working very, very well still.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Okay, so when that stops working, they will start bleeding, and it will stop working.
And that's what they'll do in Victoria. The Labor will just say that a vote for One Nation or them is they're going to be in coalition with the Liberal Party, and then they'll brandish One Nation, especially in the suburbs, that you vote for One Nation is vote for Trump.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the lefties in there, all that. I might be wrong, but at the moment you think that would
look, it's working.
Whatever cause data they swear by cause.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. The data's that. So Victorian Labor will just do what data.
The other thing that Cos said was he said that women under 30, 40% of them are voting for the Greens.
Mm.
And they're doing that because their response to their hardship is to blame big institutions, big companies, and it's all rubbish. But they're buying it, right? So because they're incurious and they're uneducated, they don't know how to inquire.
John the Boy still asking for questions on the Victorian election. What about the upper house? Could One Nation pick up the balance of power or better?
I don't know enough to comment.
I think they might win 2 seats in those two. You think they win 2 seats in Northern Victoria and could win 2 seats in Eastern Victoria?
We should explain the Victorian state system is a hell of a lot different than all the other systems. So with their upper house, that it's not just the whole of Victoria; it's split up into 8 regions. Yeah. So
5 in the city regions and 3 in the Western Victoria, Northern Victoria, and Eastern.
And how many upper house members are picked from each?
45 from each division.
5 from each division. Yeah. So you would think that One Nation would pick up 1 in each.
You'd think so, yeah.
I would like to draw attention to the fact that Queensland doesn't have and doesn't need an upper house.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, One Nation.
And it's like if I had my way, I'd abolish all the upper houses in every state.
Why?
Because they don't do anything.
True. I reckon if you asked them a question, if you spoke to Mark Latham and John Ruddick in 5 or 10 years' time and say, do you really need an upper house?
They'd say no.
Well, Australians for Better Government call for the re-establishment of the Legislative Council in Queensland.
Oh, okay.
So, that's okay. I don't agree with everything you say.
Good, that's fine.
No, it's fine.
Some people, I reckon that John Ruddicks and Lathams would say, do we need state parliaments in 2026?
Well, that's also another fruitful debate.
Yeah.
I would say we do. All right, guys. Mate, that's a debate for another time, but thank you for the discussion tonight. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, please give us a like and maybe a comment in the chat. That really helps our analytics and helps power this podcast along. We really do rely on the audience. So thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you for everyone who has commented. Great comments in the chat tonight.
Yeah,
we love.
Thank you.
Yeah, it makes it a more interactive episode, especially when the questions and the comments come in. So it's been much appreciated. Thank you for checking us out. Head to Commanding the Narrative, sign up for the newsletter so you don't ever miss one of the great podcasts that we do. And we do have some great guests on. We discuss a lot of interesting stuff. So I'm sure that you guys will appreciate everything that we have got planned. Coming up very, very soon. It should be very, very exciting. But for now, thank you for everyone who has watched this on a Sunday night. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.